right. Let's see if that works. All active. Fresh. Is that working? Why is that not working? Oh, YouTube Live, you are weird. Live. And not that one. Live, so I can kill the stuff. And switch back. Alright, there we go. Alright. It's alive again. Ooh. Good. Still seems a bit delayed though. Still delayed, but it's fine. That'll do. That'll do. Hmm. Okay. Well, like a second or like 2 seconds behind. Ain't too bad. That's manageable. Now I know to set it to 1080. I don't feel like scaling it down for whatever reason. Ooh. Yep. Your the emoticon or emoji going through to Kipper, so oh yeah, oh wow. Okay, there's another one of those. Iron Dome is just insane, man. Let's see, there's something that's gonna blow your freaking mind, Kipper. Yeah, here it is. I feel like, yeah, that's a spicy. But hell, awesome reflexes on this dude. Like, war sucks. That's a given. But goddamn, yeah, right? Oh yeah, you know the whole way it was coming back down was like as soon as it bounced off the tree was just fuck, 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 fuck. But yeah, it's freaking insane. And it's like the amount of information we have at our fingertips now too is just mind blowing. That's the part that gets me. Like I can literally just dive into um like even Twitter and see some crazy stuff. Like the recent like the whole bunch of aircraft got disabled at a few airfields inside Russia with the cardboard box drones that Australia sent to Ukraine way back. They're gonna detect cardboard on freaking radar. But yeah, they ended up disabling seems like a few aircraft. Nothing confirmed, like nothing visually confirmed, but definitely seems that's the case. Oh. Yeah, it's absolutely just freaking mental at how much information we have at our fingertips now. That we can literally sit here and like monitor day by day. Um like especially right now where this is like the spiciest. So your Challenger 2s are over here. Yeah, I saw that one. Like it's well, he was able to provide first aid to himself until someone could get out until they could get out there and get to him. But that's one of those things that you can't do without a person because that person will get targeted. Whereas a drone is expendable. So there's just so much. It's the things that they are coming up with is just like a lot of it is lethal, yes, but a lot of it is very much like it, the drones have saved lives. Um, but yeah, right now this is where you're did it at 1 p.m. today. Okay, they clarified that up there. Um, but yeah, like the fact that we can. Okay, so that shifting is just like this is in the last 2 weeks, and this is older than 2 weeks. But yeah, you can go back to the beginning of the month. You can just it's just so I that's hard to say because with drones it's really like bringing it into question. Like tanks still have their place, but it's not like those big armored formations anymore because a drone swarm can completely shut that down. I have not taken that work. Of course those hotkeys are. Big. But I mean, it's hard to say if they've made a difference. There's only 30, and even then, you can really only send like half of those up at a time. You got to keep them in a rotation. You can't just all or nothing in warfare. It's not as simple as that, unfortunately. But yeah, like all the way back to July 26th. Big ol' jump through there. These crews haven't even been. I don't even think it's since they got on the training over there in the UK with them. It hasn't even been a year, I don't think. So, unlike the British forces, like where they've got years on the platform. I mean, granted, most of them don't have combat on them, but still. Huh, so that little. Oh, okay, that's probably just like tested. Oh, okay, so that was reassessed at that point. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys had already had prior combat experience on the T series platforms of vehicles, so there is that, which is a bonus. But that also had an autoloader, different command control system. Um, let's see. If I can find an image. For the ones that are over there already, because they definitely are different. I always keep forgetting to check. Oh wait, no, I sent Red the image the other day. Oop, I did not mean to close that window. Oops. But smoothbores offer more adaptability. That's why they're moving away from it. Because the amount of ammunition types that you can use for smoothbore is insane. Whereas for NATO, or for the NATO ones, everything's, well, most all of them are, everyone except for the UK has rifled. Um, Sorry, I'm trying to clean up some F-ups. Why is this not work? But YouTube, you are a fucking pain in the ass is what you are. Yeah, it's there are some other ones out there that have rifle barrels. I think like the AMX does. I'm trying to remember. I think the AMX does. Let me look that up really quick. Yeah, the Challenger 2 is the only one with the L30 120 mil rifle. Like, do you guys the only ones who have like continuously used rifled barrels? Yeah, artillery is the only other thing with a rifled barrel. You guys have had rifled barrels since tanks in World War II. Just even World War One as well. I think. Yeah, since World War One as well. Your tanks have always been for over a century rifled. Actually, no, you even had rifled breech loading cannons on your ships in the 1800s. Like you guys adopted rifled breech loading cannons. Like the first battle with them was the Strait, I think it was. You guys hit shit from way the fuck out. You do it well too. Yeah, this is when they got through the minefields. This whole area right here was just just freaking nightmare to get through. That's probably just a reassessment of the line up there. And then we know through this is the line with the dragon's teeth in it. Like all this. Dragon's teeth in the tank pits. But from what we know is that they actually run right up to the gonna work for everyone. Is it gonna work today? We gonna get satellite today? Question mark? Nope, the satellite today. Doesn't want to work today. Do topo. Topo. But yeah, these defenses, man, are just freaking mental with what they got to get through. It's just absolutely mind blowing. You got to get through right now. Yeah, ISW. It's all pretty much showing. Yeah, it's pretty much showing the same. Was it not showing this other tab? Oh wow, the stream is really delayed right now. Why is it so delayed? Holy hell. Um. Oh, that's why. Because the stream on my end was all fucky. Don't worry about it. But actually, tabs. Weird stuff. Um. Yeah, it's slowly. I mean, they got through the minefields up here, which were super thick. That's why it took so long for them to get in. Now they just got to get through these. What you kind of see here. This line right here is more or less the Dragon's Teeth and the tank ditches that run like through this area. A lot of the trench work, yeah. This is a lot of the trench work right now. That was yesterday. A group of Ukrainians were a infantry detachment was probably probing down this road. Got to about 200 meters outside of Verbove, but it wasn't a breach. Like, we don't have any confirmation that they're actually through those tank ditches and the Dragon's Teeth. So the fact the infantry managed to get within 200 meters before taking artillery fire from the Russians is still pretty damn impressive, considering that they managed to push in that far. Oh, it's insane. It's the amount of trenches in this area. There's a forest right here. Let's see if we can see. Yeah, we can see it right here. Is this line right here doesn't fully show it, but like it all interconnects. Like if there's more that runs into here that they just don't have visual of because the vegetation's so thick in this like forested area. And it's the same back here too. Like these lines are all just one solid line, which is just insanity. The fact that like slogging through this, like there's not been anything like this since World War II. Like clearing these levels of mined areas, defensive fortifications. It's just insane, and no one doctrinally, like even the Gulf War cannot be compared to this conflict. Yeah, everyone thought trench warfare was obsolete after the Gulf War, but that had everything to do with air superiority. That was 100% because of air dominance. Like, we still lost aircraft. There was no, like, oh, the U.S. Air Force is infallible, the NATO Air Force is infallible. No, there will be losses. Always. I don't care what anyone says. There's no such thing as a lossless war. Um, well, unless you're talking about bigger guy picking little guy, like the whole proportional response to the it was 1980 something incident where a U.S. warship escorting a civilian tanker hit a Iranian mine. That yeah, that was a little misproportional. Oh my goodness. Yeah, but look and see if anything else has changed. Anything changed up here? And just reassess. They've had start. I'm gonna butcher these freaking names. Staromorsky. For over 2 weeks now, so that's not changed. I heard some stuff was going on around Volodar again, but after what happened, I feel like this is more just reassessed. Like, I think they just, now that they have more information, they clean that up, is what happened there. I mean, you can shit on them a lot, but like when you look at the Su-25, it's quite an airframe. The Frogfoot, it doesn't get it's an ugly duckling, but so is the A-10. But like they both do their jobs well, and unless that missile hits the cockpit, I mean, you're ejecting out of that Su-25, you're surviving. Like, it can take a freaking hit. like during the after the fall of the Berlin Wall, one thing that was noted massively by NATO, especially American F-18C pilots, they got to dogfight um, the East German Air Force after the Berlin Wall. Germany reunited, so they had those MiG-29s. Well, they went into and actually got to train in a merge dogfight F-18Cs, the Marine Corps F-18Cs, versus the MiG-29s that the Germans had now. And when they hit that merge, MiG-29s actually were, in some cases, actually outturning the F-18Cs. That's why the Super Hornets kind of became a thing, because that extra power, it turned into a realization that that MiG-29 was actually a, like, the whole comparison with the F4F Wildcat and the A6M Zero. The Zero could outturn the Wildcat and outperformed it in every level until they got the Hellcat. The Hellcat just had power. So that's how that was compensated. And then after they realized the MiG-29s actually were, in the right hands, very efficient aircraft in the has the right pilots, it was, yeah, it's absolutely crazy. And then they also didn't find out until after the little heads-up display monocle. So the MiG-29s actually had the first helmet-mounted displays, technically. So the Russians beat everyone to it. That wasn't a Western invention. That was Soviet Air Force actually was ahead of the game. So they could actually tie their R-27, if I remember right. R-27, not ours, but like one of the Heatseeker variants. It literally could hit flip down this little like bolt, like this little crosshair that comes down in front of your eye, and you can actually take it, track, and lock on to another aircraft while in a turn, so you don't have to be nose on, whereas NATO aircraft had to be nose on. There aren't any NATO aircraft, to my knowledge, that had like HMD, like helmet-mounted displays, in order to target and track and fire a heat-seeking missile at a target. You had to have nose on target in order to get that missile off, whereas the MiG-29s didn't, which means also the Su-27s and like all the Russian fighter aircraft had that. And one of the big things that everyone always like misconstrues between is the doctrine between NATO and like the Russian Air Force. Their Air Force is only really meant to gain air supremacy. Like, it's not really like their Su-27s, all that stuff aren't technically multi-role aircraft. The Su-25s were the get in there, slam shit on the ground, and then the other ones were more of just kind of a carpet bomb if necessary. But the from like we saw early on in the war, like that's what Russia's running into now is an ammunition shortage. Is artillery was always their primary focus. Like saturate an area with as much artillery as you can, and then move forward through that artillery. So that's the doctrinal differences are massive. Whereas like NATO relied more on air dominance, start pounding the ground targets with air, so multi-role aircraft, which is why you see more multi-role aircraft in the West versus with Russia. China is kind of figuring that out. Oh, sorry. Oh. Yeah, China's kind of figuring that stuff out, but it's like they're still getting in there. So that's where it's like there's a lot of those misconceptions. That's why the F-16 is going to be it's not going to be a wonder weapon. Yeah, until you guys win it, until a news agency spoofed you guys going in and stealing and copying all of their stuff. I'm sorry, but that was still like one of the greatest freaking things to find out. It's just too bad that it got freaking spoiled by a newspaper of all things. or some idiot in the MOD spoiling it. Like a bunch of the pilots that defected for money to China. That was a lot of air quotes. It's horrible. Actually were intelligence. So they actually were copying a bunch of the manuals and stuff like that for the Chinese aircraft. We don't know what all they got, but like the J-20, which is their new stealth like Gen 5 fighter, labeled as such, got copied and pasted and sent on over to to the UK. You guys like straight up just yeah, pulled a fast one on them. Underestimate British intelligence. Lots happening around Bakhmut right now. I know right now there's a lot going on around here. Right now the lines are pretty much like this. Like Ukraine's kind of in this area. The Russians are definitely like holding this section. There's some stuff geolocated the other day with some Russian sniper teams doing some work out of a building in this area. Not really changing up this way. Okay, that was what this post is about. Yeah, that's been clarified. Forest right here. I remember this. Oh, why can't I apply this elsewhere? Yeah, so it was originally assessed there and they updated it, so now this is actually what it is. Which is good. It's good to see things like, even though Deep State's pro UA, it's dealer. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a really good that's good accurate representation or analogy. You know what? Right now up here, this is where stuff's kind of like interesting. Before they were up, been over the last couple of weeks, or yeah, the last few weeks happening. There's no way it's been this long. Let me reset it to today. Okay. Oh, because that's August. Oh, that's only for like. Huh. Let me reset this so like all terrain maps are accurate. I thought the line was like around here, and they made it. Right now, this is all from 2020. Yeah, we're in 2023 now. Purple is from 2014. So right now they still control this area. That's what's been last summer. That was what was liberated. This is what was liberated the other time during the Thunder Run, Kupiansk, last year. And unfortunately, everyone's comparing it like current offensive. They're expecting this when it's more like this, where Kherson was a slog to push on the town. See if they've got ISW has a proper layer. No, that's just that. No, they don't have a. Oh, that's my settings. Yeah, they're showing screen back in that area again. The spot's always been like back and forth. Like even right now, it's just like they pop in, smoke a bunch of stuff, they chase them out, they come back eventually, vice versa, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's kind of how a lot of it is. But yeah, right now it's this is the current control map. There's an operational offensive kind of going on up here, but no one's really sure about the number of troops the Russians have committed in this area. At least not that I've seen anything source-wise, which is kind of it seems to have stopped. So there's some minor gains here and there, but probably more has to do with just like terrain in this area. It's kind of hard to do anything when you're being observed from these high grounds right here. Kind of a similar situation that they ran into when they were down along this river. Didn't matter what they did. There was high ground observing everything they did. This side of the river. They were stuck on that side. All these high ground points were able to just see everything. So why that amphibious crossing like over here failed so hard was because they were just able to spot it. They were able to see the equipment coming in and everything. But yeah, for river stuff, it's, I mean, if you can't get heavy equipment across, it's not a bridgehead. Right now, this is more just like being a thorn in their side and they're trying to keep a lot of these guys pinned in place. Because if they pulled all of these guys over to south of Orikhiv, that'd make it harder for the UA advance. But by doing that, they're keeping a lot of forces pinned in place here. There's also a supposedly, like, no one's been able to geolocate. At least I've not been able to see any like solid geolocations of it yet, but like it seems like there was a soft boat landing in this area. We've been seeing a lot of not amphibious, but like water-based stuff going on out here as of late. There's even a video of a Su-30 strafing some boats, and then a manpad being launched off of one of the boats at one of the aircraft. Yeah, there's some spicy stuff going on. S400, at least a part of, I think a launcher of the S400 got knocked out over here somewhere by a Ukrainian, domestically produced Ukrainian cruise missile. At least that's what they're saying it was. Yeah, and the raid that went on in here. Oh, and a $200 million over-the-horizon radar system and a electronic warfare system got knocked out in this area too, just in the last week or so. I'm not sure where it was in this area, but it's in this, like, in this region right here. And supposedly with these cruise missiles, so that's huge because there's only like 20 of them in the entire Russian military, and they cost 200 mil pop. Over-the-horizon radars are pricey. Luckily, the country that doesn't best is Australia, which is impressive. Then again, the cardboard drones now going forth and destroying Russian aircraft on at the airfields. That's, yeah. It's not like an air radar. It's more, I think it's more of like it's more for ships and like larger aircraft. trying to come in over the horizon, like beyond the horizon stuff. Whereas a cruise missile is a little bit different. But the thing is too is like we don't know the range on these like Ukrainian domestically produced ones. Um, they modified their Neptune anti-ship missile to be a cruise missile. um, which they can launch from anywhere along here. So, per a post I saw the other day was that it's or per statement, I don't know how factual this is, like I can't double confirm any of this, but they set a GPS point for it to go to, and then it turns into where its target is, and then it visually looks for its target once it reaches an area, and if it doesn't see it, it like terminates itself. So this thing could have had a field of view. This over the horizon radar could have been just looking like out this way, because it kind of looked like the missile came in from behind. The way the explosion was, it detonated. The blast fragmentation was towards the water, so it was from behind. So it could have been just looking like out this way. So they could have launched it, came down here, and then came up. Because let's just say they launched it from like from here. So 150 kilometers. 360 kilometers. What we're seeing there. So okay, so it's maybe something more. That's the thing, we don't know the actual range on this, but 200-kilometer range of the Neptune was publicly available. So yeah, I mean, it could have easily just been something like this. That's completely viable. They could have also, for them, they could have seen it come in, and they could have thought it was going for Sevastopol. So Sevastopol may have gotten a warning that, like, hey, something's inbound, coming down towards you guys. But instead it hit a point, turned north, and hit that radar. So it could have very well seen it. We don't know the capabilities of that radar either. A lot of more information going on. I mean, knocking out a $200 million freaking radar, yeah. Well, that misinformation campaign is doing its job, that's for freaking sure. If you're curious how to look for like misinformation operations, um, what is it? Ryan Macbeth, programming on YouTube. He does shorts that are really good. It's actually how we kind of like pick out like what's BS, like what you see people saying on things. Unfortunately, like some people I've seen are regurgitating some info that's been like hyped up. But yeah, it's kind of curious. Oh, that's right. This thing has. This is what's really cool with this with deep state. You can actually pick out things. Like you can see the ranges on the surface air missile systems. It's right there out of Iskander's. Yeah, self-propelled, so the different howitzers, different towed ones. Yeah, you can even choose the ammunition. So, like, if we wanted to, I would just look at the surface air missile system. This is one of the things that a lot of people are like, even surprises me. Like, here's the S-300. That's if it has, like, this stockpile ain't. There isn't too much left. So it's like 200-kilometer range. So, okay, great. But you got to remember too, this is the max range of it. They're not going to engage it until it's like in here, so there's enough propellant for it to be able to maneuver. Which is a kind of a kill zone for it. But most stuff comes in low, so like this doesn't even do anything. That's 200 kilometers, and then Patriot Pack 2 was 160. Still a crazy range. Yeah, it really puts in perspective like the different munitions, like different surface air missile systems that are in use. Like SM's on 60. I don't. Isn't that hard to believe? Yeah, the L119's in here. Is that towed howitzer? Yeah, it was a towed howitzer. L119. Oh, it's a 105. Okay. I think it's the same one we use, just using a different name. But yeah, like you can click there, and thing is too is like you don't want to use artillery at their max range, so like you'd be putting these, trying to get them in as close as you can, because if you use the well, actually no, because the 105s are already case, like they come already like load shoot. They come in like ready like ready to go like bullets do. 105s. There's probably a reason behind it. There's probably definitely a reason behind it. Let's actually look it up really quick. The short answer is it was an offensive airplane designed to, what? No. Oh, land service. That's very British. Not gonna lie. I don't. I'm not 100% sure that that's even right, though. I'm trying to find a better. Um. I do. Yeah, land service. Because you guys put it on like L85, like it's just, I guess it's to separate it from air services. It's so weird. But it's such a British thing. It's very weird, but yeah, that is such a British thing. But yeah, I mean, yeah, so the 105s are probably doing the lion's share of work because I know like with the M777, which is non-rocket assisted round. I think this is non-rocket assisted. Yeah, this is a standard high explosive round. Okay, felt like about deep state. You can actually pull it. Because this one is probably the do do. Maybe not. Um, Interesting. So maybe not. Maybe these don't have a rocket assisted round. I know the Excalibur does. Go with that one because it's what the Marine Corps uses. Yeah, this one they're definitely using a little bit farther back, but because you got to use those powder charges to give a little bit more oomph behind it. You're gonna burn the barrel out trying to shoot stuff all the way out here. And yeah, it puts you in range of Talkmac, but like you're gonna melt that barrel, so you realistically can only shoot like everything within this range to try and like preserve the life of the barrel. That's one thing everyone didn't expect like months back was how quickly they would burn the barrels on the ones on the M777s. We ended up sending more to them so they could rotate them out. They burned through those barrels so freaking quick. No one expected this amount of usage of artillery. I think that's why we ended up sending them a whole bunch of M105s and your L113s because, well, you're not gonna burn the barrel out when it's already a preset. Oh, do they for their artillery rounds? No, you guys are still using. Oh, that's right, they have the archers. I totally forgot the archers got delivered. I'm wondering where those are working right now. Where's your AS? Hers. Oh, propelled. There we go. Crab, archer. Past it? I don't see it. Oh, it's the archer. That's what it was. Right? No, the archer is the Ukrainian one. Yeah. Ukrainians gave them this. Wonder where it's at. I'm surprised the AS90 is not in here. Toad? Accident? No, not under Toad. Self-propelled. I'm really surprised the AS90 is not in here. I mean, it can be pretty comparable. No, it's got a longer range than the M109s. Probably more in line with the Crab. No, because the Crab is just a souped up M109. AS90 is actually like a domestically produced one for you guys. I guess it more in line with the more. Yeah, I guess it'd be more in line with the ZH2000 then. Still shooting a lot of the same shells. Caliber's got a little bit more oomph out of these. Interesting. Huh. It's kind of good to know. I didn't realize they didn't actually have the that on here. Heck. Okay. Kind of funny. Oh, yeah, there's just so much info that you can go through on here and just kind of dissect everything. 250k range on the Storm Shadow. And you gotta get close to freaking launch that. Makes me wonder if they're, yeah, they're definitely launching it from back here. They're hitting max range on these things. You drop it from altitude. You can't, like, you drop it low, you lose a lot of that range. I imagine you lose a lot of that range. But, I mean, out here, that's where you can have a little bit more. No, you're still gonna get picked up by radar and have stuff scrambled on you. Unless you're freaking jamming the living shit out of them. But yeah, the current weapon systems are insane. Also, I don't know if you saw it the other day off of one of the other channels I follow. He is in the trench lines somewhere in this area. Sky Sabers? Oh, those are the new. That's the new system, right? Yeah, that's the new air defense system that you guys developed. I don't know. A lot of us are trying to figure out. Um, yeah, but that's still like just getting deployed to the British military right now. So I feel like it's not. Um, Rocks too. That's the thing with it. Oh no, all I know is like from um called I'm gonna reset my feed here. Um, you guys just deployed something to this area. I think it's also being employed over here now too. Whatever it is, the Russian helicopters aren't able to operate as freely as they were when there was a bunch of issues happening up here. When we saw the Bradleys and the Leopard 285s getting smoked. So, you guys gave him something. I don't know what it is, but you guys gave him something. Still gets me every freaking time, man. Iron Dome is just Insane, man. And then they're implementing David Sling along with it, and then um, laser system. Yeah, but it's been proven. That's the thing. See, this is the crazy part. Is I think we're watching this from. No, this is definitely from release side. Yeah, so here. And this is the crazy part. Like, how much equipment could have actually been recovered? That's the thing that gets me. How much equipment could have actually been recovered, but isn't? Just because of drones. That's the insanity of things. Like this could have been easily recovered, but drone rolled over with a frag grenade and completely changed that up. Yeah, see, this is supposedly the launch of the Neptune. I mean, the initial rocket motors, this is right, like how it burned. Then it ejects that like initial launcher, but that's all we got. The Bren's still doing its thing. And there goes that drone. Video cuts out, and you actually see another one come in. Where is it? Oh, it is a bird. It is a bird. And everything from kamikaze drones to in just their usage is just it's mind blowing. Like drone usage is completely flipped military doctrine on its head. Absolutely flipped it on its head. If anyone even tries to like kind of argue it, just can't deny the effect that drones have had on the battlefield. For both sides. Case in point, like that massive Bradleys and Leopard V5s that were smoked out in that field weren't just from the helicopters. They were getting freaking just smashed. This is propaganda. Sure. Um, well, the Russians have been figuring out how to intercept them. You notice, like, we're not seeing nearly as much use from them. Plus, now they have the M270 MLRS systems from Germany, Britain, France, even. Don't remember. All the way back to the main. Oh, because no, I didn't. Well, whatever. The buff doing its thing and oh yeah. Joker. Yeah, we're not gonna watch that one. And pads have just absolutely made a menace of the front lines. That's where it's gonna be interesting to see if the F-16s actually even like are able to wild weasel things. It's mind blowing. Even just looking at the range, I mean, use MRs, and we'll just use this. Oh, these I want to call BS that they're not in service because like there's been some videos that we've seen that have come out have shown been in use. This is what they've been calling for, which not sure why we haven't. I mean, I understand that they worry that it's gonna be used in Russia, but like, we restrict them so much on some other thing. Like an ATAC launch from here. Pretty much the entire battle space is covered. You just launch it from back here, and you have all of Crimea. Do a quick launch and shoot and scoot from here. You can hit the Kerch Bridge. And like Shadow Storm is kind of in the same boat, but it's 250 kilometers instead of 300. But ETEX could be very easily intercepted. I don't know. More of a ballistic missile, anyways. But when you switch to like the standard rounds, it's like, yeah, they can get back in there, but to really get back in there, I don't know. Because they've been hitting Tokmak recently. Stuff that happened over here back during the winter was insane. I don't know if you caught any of, followed any of that, Kipper. There's a big old push by 2 brigades, I think, of Russian armor. They're Marine units, right? They try to push in to Volodar from like these 2 axes, I think. But they started to push in, come up these hedgerows, and they started to hit minefields and then get hit by ATGMs and stuff and artillery. Got repulsed. But as they came back, what they didn't realize is that the Ukrainians fighting out of this position, the commander had drones up and saw the path that they took in. Well, they knew which way they were going to come back through. Like there were choke points in these hedgerows that they came through. What they ended up doing was there's a round for the 155s that will deploy essentially smart landmines. So what they did was that after the Russians had already passed through there, they started to fire those rounds, saturate those areas with these mines. And then when they retreated back, they actually ended up, multiple vehicles got disabled, hitting a minefield that wasn't there before because they were just like, oh, this is actually safe. And then they finished it up with ATGMs and drones, I think, for the abandoned vehicles. Which is freaking insane. If I can find any info on it, page on it. Wiki page. But Rifle Brigade. Yeah, Naval Infantry Brigade. The two Naval Infantry Brigades. A pretty sizable fight. Yeah, it is during. Yeah, this. It was just mind blowing at how much. Like, this was a slugfest. Yeah. Russian offensive was initiated against the Ukrainian defensive line during the second week of February. An offensive of tanks, infantry, fighting vehicles. Infantry failed with large losses, including the loss of nearly 30 armored vehicles, IFVs, and tanks. The Ukrainian military announced almost the entire 155th Naval Infantry Brigade was destroyed, and Russia had lost 130 units of equipment, including 36 tanks. In the same announcement, they claimed that the Russians were losing 150 to 300 Marines per day in the battle. Yeah, remember, that's not KIA. I don't think that's KIA. That's a little... A lot of these numbers, I don't... Like, you just can't trust. But still, yeah, losing 36 tanks. That was visually confirmed by Oryx, too, so... They lost a lot of equipment. Like, it was bad. Yeah, see 1,000 Russian troops killed. I mean, it's very possible that this happened. But these two units were definitely observed being pulled off the line because they lost so much. Yeah, like, it was bad. Like, those units got maimed. But that's kind of like how badly maimed those two units were is kind of what we're hearing out of... Oh no, it's Eurozone. Funny. Out of Robotyne. These units in this area are just bare bones at this point. They're barely hanging on in terms of troop counts and stuff like that. All the information that I've been pulling. Just yeah. It's the defensive works that's freaking doing it. If all these defensive lines, like, if they didn't, the Surovikin line wasn't built, I honestly think the Russians wouldn't have been able to hold. They just had sparse trenches and stuff like that. Down here in the south, yes, because all these black lines are the defenses. Like, this is, yeah, it is a fight and a half. But these are more like defensive, like, kind of forts all the way down. Different down here, though. Once you get into Crimea, it's a whole other ball game. They don't need to have much defensive works in order to freaking stop a advance. But up here, it's like, yeah, it's through these lines that's going to be the toughest. Oh, Jesus. But up here by Bakhmut, more the terrain. Because here's the high ground here. This is a valley, and then it goes back up over here. So it's like you've got both sides controlling high ground staring at each other. Oh yeah, this is like World War II amount defensive fortifications we're seeing. There it is. Pato, English. Great. But yeah, you can see why they set up back here too, because like even though they could take these high positions out tight comparatively in here and there, but to go from here out this way, that's gonna be a bitch. Yeah, but keep in mind too is like all these defenses aren't manned. Like these lines right here may only have like this may just be artillery or supply that are back in here. These are just empty with a skeleton crew just to kind of keep them maintained. Whereas these are the lines that are actually like got the defensive forces in. So the main thing is trying to get around them. What I think right now is that's what it kind of looks like why they're going after the Ukrainians are going after Verbov, because they can come down this road right here and get their heavy armor onto it, move a little bit more quickly. Granted, they got to get through this back here, but once they just need to get beyond it. Like if they get over here, they can kind of turn this entire line right here, forcing then Russians to fall back to the secondary line of defense. Or third line of defense at this point? I don't know. Oh, front lines aren't even fully manned, Kipper. Like, that's how much attrition is going on. At least, like, observed on the Russian side. The Ukrainians are being very tight-lipped about their casualties and stuff, so we really don't... We're not really seeing a whole lot of information. Come from them. But yeah, it's insane, man. The fact that we can watch this all like live, the insanity. Like that's the mental part. So many bots. Live Twitter feed is like nothing but nothing but bots. Yeah, lots and lots of bots. Counter intel thing is insane. Especially the one right now. There's one right now about like 10 billion going to Ukraine, which there isn't. Yeah, this dude is freaking awesome for good info. I have Edge. Glad that I got that. No, I don't want that. I want the... No. Yes. That guy. This guy. Oh, mixer. Edge. You to system because I don't use you all that much, so that's fine. Hey, you should be able to hear this one. Yeah, this is crazy. Here.
How did Russia trick Americans into tweeting the words $10 billion to Ukraine? So yesterday I said
that Hurricane Idai would create misinformation.
And then today I made a video
where I said the phrase 10 billion to Ukraine
may be a coordinated disinformation campaign. And it is!
Right now, the U.S. House of Representatives is not in session.
Nobody's sending $10 billion anywhere.
And there's nothing upcoming in September.
So some of what happened next is based on the fact that most Americans don't really know what Congress is doing at any given time.
The phrase first appeared on an inauthentic Twitter profile on August 24th. Then it started gaining traction.
Eventually, bots started posting it for things that didn't even make any sense.
Like this traffic wreck required us to send $10 billion to Ukraine. This continues until we get our first authentic user,
who just picks up the phrase.
Then bot accounts start using it constantly. So finally, an authentic account uses the phrase.
As of right now, the campaign is still ongoing. If you want to read how I got to my conclusions, go to ryanmcbeth.com.
Yeah, his stuff is freaking on point. That's why I just fucking love seeing those update videos, because he's just, yeah. He is solid on that stuff. But, yeah, this is even more... This is a more documented of defenses. But that's how war rolls. Misinformation. Yeah. Oh, alright. I need to adult. Thank you for hanging around, Kipper. Appreciate it. A few people came through, but that was about it. Yeah, I need to do laundry and stuff like that, so yeah, I just want to kind of mess with the webcam, see how things work, see if I could mess with different things. So I will catch you later, bud.